everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today with thriftycanucks, Thrifty Thursday. You can find all of the information on both of those collaborations down below in the description box. So I got a cute little thrift haul today. I hadn't been thrifting in actually a while, so I haven't gone at all since I got back from vacation. So I had a very nice day today. So this is the first thing. It was $2, and it's a really cute box with 30 assorted cards and envelopes. Pierre Joseph Redoute, botanical artist and royal flower painter from 1759 to 1840, gained international recognition for his precise renderings of plants, which remain as fresh in the early 21st century as when first painted. Redoute contributed over 2,100 published plates depicting over 1,800 different species, many never rendered before. He's got a very interesting story. Over his long career, Redoute painted the gardens at the Petit Trianon of Queen Marie Antoinette as her official court artist, and during the Revolution was appointed to document gardens, which became national property. Redoute's career flourished during the patronage of the generous Empress Josephine, and he produced the most sumptuous books portraying plants from places as distant as Japan, South Africa, and Australia, as well as Europe and America. Redoute was appointed as a Master of Design for the Museum d'Histoire Naturelle in 1822 and awarded a Chevalier of the Légion d'Honneur in 1825. Redoute mastered the unusual technique of stipple engraving, the use of tiny dots rather than lines. This made the subtle variations in coloring possible, for which his work is known. So this was made in the UK, in Bath. Interesting. So the box is quite pretty. The Redoute Roses notepad set. So let's take a look at it anyhow. So a bunch of envelopes. The cards are what I was really excited for though. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So there's 2 cards missing from this whole set. Okay, that's awesome. Those are really pretty. I like those. And the box itself is actually quite nice. I may use it as a storage box. Just kind of take this liner out of here. So we don't need that. There we go. Less stuff the better. So yeah, maybe I will use that for something, but these will go into my organized ephemera bins because I don't leave things like this in boxes like this because they won't get used. I'll forget I have them. So anyways, we'll set that aside. And then I got this. I wasn't able to open it until I got it home because it was in plastic. It was $1, and I thought all I could see was half of this funny fox's face. Eat more tea playing cards. Tea playing cards. So it's this looks funny. I'll take a chance on it for $1 or $1.25, sorry. So the back has all just the teapot. But the fronts, these are the jokers. I love that. Then some of them are just this has English breakfast, Irish breakfast, masala chai, Earl Grey, green gunpowder. So they're all different teas. And then the the queen, the joker, the king, the special cards have these fun pictures on them. So yeah, it's all different teas for a whole playing card set. So that's kind of fun. Makes me think about the tea journal that I made, which is actually still in my Etsy shop. If you're interested in a tea journal, I have a beautiful one in my Etsy shop that has its own lovely mosaic on the front of the book cover. So anyways, and then I got this little tea bowl. It was $1.29. I want it just for my watercolors. I'm always looking for I was looking for a new little tiny bowl to just kind of keep here on my desk, because every time I go and I get my watercolors out, I have the tray here, but then I have to go and find a little container to put water in if I'm not using my water brush. So I thought I should pick up a nice little a nice little dish, and this one's quite pretty. I'll show it to you. I'm just going to pick this sticker off because I want to see what the glaze looks like, and it's hard to see under such a humongous sticker. There we go. I will clean it up a little later, but it's like a gray speckly, and it's got 3 little feet. So yeah, that will be very, very perfect for mixing up little bits of paint and stuff. Oops, I've got sticker on my fingers. There we go. And then I found this at the thrift store. So it's one of those vintage tea towels. This one is painted by Tony Payne, printed in Canada. It's the ducks of Canada. We have the red-breasted merganser, northern shoveler, redhead, bufflehead, mallard, and wood duck. So there were actually 2 of these. They were $1.50. This is a product of Poland, silk screened in Canada. I left one behind though because I believe in, you know, sharing the love. I do love these old tea towels though, but I don't need all of them. I can share. And then for no reason at all, I got some index cards. Like, I truly don't need them, but they were 95 cents. It was so funny because I didn't even notice this. I just saw $1 on the front, and then when she was ringing it through, she's like, oh. I said, I don't mind paying $1. She's like, no, I'll charge 95 cents. I don't know why they've double stickered it. I was like, I don't either, but it's funny. But they say heavy duty, so that's kind of cool. They're a little more heavy duty if I need. Then I found some sun art paper. So these are cyanotype papers. I have found these little packets before, and initially I was like, I don't know about this because cyanotype paper, you've got to be a little careful. It can't be opened and exposed because like it won't work. But I thought for $2.49 I'll give it a try, and I do think it is in fact sealed. I don't think it has been opened. And I have actually found these at the same store before, so I don't know if it was the same donation, but these are really fun to use. If you're not familiar with cyanotype, it is a sun exposure image that looks like indigo. Essentially, it's an indigo blue. You can get cyanotype. I mean, it is cyan type, so clearly cyan blue. You can actually get several different colors now though, like sepia, red, like all different colors you can find online nowadays, which is kind of interesting. I am kind of a traditionalist of cyanotype. It's part of like my history with like learning photography and art and all of that, and I just really am very in love with the indigo look of it, so I was happy to find those. I have some fun with my daughter with those. I found this was $1. It's just this fun weekly plan paper. I thought it would be nice to like you know, dye it with something like maybe cabbage would be nice, and they'd be fun journal pages. I'm always looking for, you know, stuff in the vein of different kinds of papers that are like plain papers. What else? Oh, I found a stamp set, the Plaid All Night Media Anna Griffin Vintage Floral Alphabet Clear Stamp Set. So this was $1. It's kind of hard to show you what they look like, but I think they're going to be a little bit of a pain to store, but maybe not. I think I just need to play around with the plastic a little bit here. They seem like they are not put back properly, that's all. So they're like this very fancy alphabet, and I thought, you know, that could be really fun. So yeah, I think I'll like them a little better once I ink them up and I can actually see them, because looking at this I'm like, what am I looking at exactly? So they will go into my stamps collection, and I'll play with those because I think they're quite lovely. You know, if you need a little fancy in your life. Then I found this magazine. So the what's it called? St. Vincent de Paul was having a buy 4 books get one free day, and the funny thing about it is that they've raised the price of hardcovers from $1 to $3. So I had picked it like way more than what I got, and then I was like, wait a minute. This is a trick. So they did not bamboozle me. They did not. So anyways, I got this Quilt with Scraps book, and this is like, I mean, this is something I don't need a book for, a magazine to do, but I got it as like a, let's do this kind of like, you know, sometimes you just need a nagging reminder to get you to actually do something. This is mine, and I figure, you know, I can sit and, like, when I'm not busy, maybe I will do this on, you know, my next day off, like from work. I'll just sit down and I'll pick out one technique in here. Like, I know how to quilt. I know how to quilt with scraps, but maybe I'll pick like a block that I've never made before, and I'll sit down and do it. Oh, I like those circles a lot. This is fun too. So yeah, I think I'll do it. I gotta get that done because I really have a lot of scraps and they're not going to use themselves. Okay, bigger book. Well, not that big, but Herbal, The Essential Guide to Herbs for Living by Denny Brown. So the cover is the same, but a little more matte. That's quite pretty. You know, that would make a beautiful journal. I would just kind of put something here, some kind of a fun, maybe a big metal journal label. So it is, so I got this partly because I'm thinking about making my own kind of plant, like kind of like a grimoire, kind of like, you know, a plant, like plant medicine, plant usage kind of book, like herbal lore book. I have all these ideas in my head, and I'm thinking about, you know, I want to like have, you know, a beautiful title, write some information about the plant, where it is located, how to cultivate it, its uses in both medicine and food, like maybe a nice recipe for preserving it or using it in a particularly nice thing, like for medicine, how to make a nice salve, you know, a nice recipe that uses a certain herb, maybe have a dried sample that I put in a bag or in a lamination or something, and maybe some kind of legend or lore or story about the herb. Yeah, so I'm just thinking about that. And I have a lot of other plant botany kind of books, but I was like, I've cut a lot of them up too. So anyways, this is probably going to go into both journals and this project that I want to do. I have to think about how I want to do this. Like if I want to do some kind of like a practical magic style book, a big book, or if I want to make it more of like a compendium, I don't know. But it does have absolutely lovely photos, but I'm more excited for these illustrations that come up from time and again here. They are really pretty. They are my reason for getting the book, because that's absolutely up my alley, is those beautiful old illustrations. But also this looks like a really great read. So yeah, I probably won't cut it up for quite some time. I'm probably going to use it as project inspiration and reading. This book, The Writer's Garden. So I got this to read it because it just looks really quite lovely, but it's also a big purple book, and that's fun. A big purple book, as I was trying to say. How Gardens Inspired Our Best Loved Authors. So I opened this up and I was just kind of flipping through, and I saw like Ernest Hemingway, and like I was like, okay, what is going on in here? And so that's literally about like all of these authors and their gardens, like Winston Churchill. Let's find someone we actually are excited about. Virginia Woolf at Monk's House. Charles Dickens at Gad's Hill Place. So Dickens's garden. Yeah, it's a really nice book, and so I don't think I'll be, you know, cutting this one up necessarily. We'll see what happens after I read it. Jane Austen at Godmersham and Chowton. Very beautiful book. And then we got Wildflowers, How to Identify Flowers in the Wild and How to Grow Them in Your Garden, from Rick Imes. So this book has a lot of little bits and bobs, like little fussy cut type things. It is not an old book. I don't think most of the books I got today are old, actually. What year is it? I don't see it. 1993. So yeah, lots of little bits you could fussy cut. But as I was going through, like it has this style, right? So you've got these nice long images, you know, you can, again, this is the kind of thing I could use in that plant book that I want to make. I'm just thinking, because like I just I don't know. I love so many plants, and there are so many plants. I'm like, how do I put this into one book and it's not going to be like a book the size of a gigantic box? I don't know. I have to think about it. I think maybe the answer is don't be so darn extra all the time, Cindy, and then you will have a normal little herbarium type book. And then I found a couple little childhood throwback fun books. The Rose Petal Place books. A Garden of Love to Share, Rose Petal, and the Evil Weeds. So I don't know if you're familiar with these. These are Parker Brothers storybooks, and these are just, you know, iconic. This is like an iconic character to me. Rose Petal Place. It's like another one of those like 80s, 90s kids. 1984, these books were published. And they are the sweetest little things. Very fun, like 80s pop culture, toy collector kind of cartoon, you know, nostalgia, toy nostalgia. Just really sweet little books, and I just thought they were a lot of fun. I have several of them already. I possibly even have these ones, I don't know, but whenever I see them, this wave of like nostalgic like excitement rolls over me, and they're like in the cart, so I need them, you see. Sorry I'm taking forever to get this book. Okay, and then I found, oh, this isn't for cutting. I just found a Judy Blume book that I don't have. BFF, Just As Long As We're Together. Here's to You, Rachel Robinson, 2 novels. So I don't have this one, and I'm a huge fan of Judy Blume. I am, and I'm really excited I found this one, because this was my free book today. In the buy 3 or 4 get 1 free. Let me grab... I just grabbed the last of what's in here so I can stop pausing forever in between. Set it all here, secretly out of your sight, so I can delight you individually with everything that I found. This is a magic show, you know this. Okay, then I found this Fraggle Rock record, this little 45. I was pretty excited to find it. There were 2 of them. I only grabbed the one because I don't need 2 of the same record, but I did want to grab it because, like, who doesn't love Fraggle Rock? And it's got the Fraggle Rock theme. Has to have that, obviously. Let's get this painter's tape off here. I absolutely love the lady who works at Mission because she uses this painter's tape and doesn't destroy everything with, like, you know, tape like every other thrift store does. So yeah, and it's in really great condition. I'm so excited to play this with my daughter because I just kind of am trying to get her into Jim Henson a little bit. And then I found a book that has been illustrated by Quentin Blake, who I love, love, love Quentin Blake's illustration. He illustrated my very favorite Roald Dahl book, The Twits, and I have been in love with his work ever since. This is a book by Russell Hoban and Quentin Blake, Trouble on Thunder Mountain. I've never heard of it, never seen it, but I'm really excited to read it because, yeah, I love Quentin Blake. And then I got this box of old corrugated paper clips. I know, it's so exciting. They're nice big ones though, and I'm going to rust them up. And I like the corrugated ones. And then I found 2 necklaces that I'm going to discombobulate for my journals. This one I thought was so interesting. Like, these are just like little individual little leaves. Like, there's 2 on 1 metal bead. They're all metal. I should probably test them for lead. Not like I'm going to run around with them in my mouth or anything, but you know, it's good to keep them away from kids. Well, it's hard to say. They're actually quite dirty, so I probably will clean it and test it for lead. Then this one. Super cute, and I will take those off and use them as fun charms. Okay, then I found this book, which I actually have in my library, but it's nice to find one that I can cut up and put into journals. An Illustrated Life, Drawing Inspiration from the Private Sketchbooks of Artists, Illustrators, and Designers by Gregory. This is a beautiful book, and I love it. This is a book I kind of look to when I'm feeling a little blasé about my drawing process and stuff. It's nice to look through these kind of like people's sketchbooks, right? And for me, and the kind of journals that I create where I'm often looking for narratives and stuff, these books are wonderful because like I I could be doing some kind of a theme where I need some random topic like dark academia. Boom, I can use that. I don't know, like farmhouse, hometown, something like that. A coffee journal, something about grandmothers, cats, pansies, it kind of gives you these options where you can just start to kind of relate things to one another, and you feel like you've got a little more material for what you're working on. I mean, it's kind of a blessing and a curse, because that's how I have a lot of books, because I'm always like, I need a lot of source material to do what I'm doing or something, which you don't, you really don't, but it's fun to have a lot of source material. This is the last thing, a nature company guide to natural gardening. Never seen this before. It's got a whole bunch of authors or collaborators, but I was like, what is this book? Because I had another large garden book, but it didn't really appeal to me. But I like the tall shape of this, and it's a nice matte cover too. And I was thinking, the one book I had I wasn't that into, which is kind of a big photography book. So I went and looked at the garden books again, having not even noticed this one. And I started to look through it. I'm like, okay, it's another photography book, but it's actually quite nice, and I'm like, I think I will read this. The Nature of Plants, Plant Names, Natives versus Exotics, Weather Wisdom, The Process of Site Planning. It's a very nice book about, plants, and it's not so much information that it's hard to digest. It's just enough. And then when you get more into the book, once we get through the bit at the beginning where it's here's all your facts about how to do things, then you start seeing incredible illustrations on every page, and little photos that are really fun to use. But there's lots of illustrations. Well, here's a whole page. It's just beautiful. And as you flip through, you get just nice little things that you can cut out. Lots of things, lots of fun photos, but illustrations like this, it starts to happen on every page. Underneath the plants, they have a related insect with the flower. You've got butterflies, we've got some lizards, these beautiful pages that separates the different regions. The northeast, so just different garden zones. Little chipmunk, blue jay, nuthatch, I think, nope, chickadee. I always confuse those two. Gray squirrel. Oh my gosh, I saw the craziest thing tonight. So we went to the playground today, and it was a beautiful day. And so then we had dinner, and we often have, as if you've been following me for a while, you know that I walk in this beautiful big graveyard that is also the local arboretum. The people from the arboretum manage these trees that are all incredible there. So that's why I walk there. I mean, I love old graveyards, but I also love trees. So we're walking, and I threw the blanket down because we had a little picnic, and I saw the weirdest thing. I look in the ground and I see this flash of black with a bit of white on it, and I'm like, what is that? Skunk immediately comes to mind, but it was small, and so it was just the end of the tip of a tail of what I thought was a skunk. And I'm like, that's fascinating. So it's me. I pick it up, and it's not bloody or anything. It's just literally hair, just the fur. And I pick it up, and I'm like, this is so strange. A skunk lost the end of its tail. But we have seen falcons and buzzards and all sorts of things. Owls at night, they prey there on rodents. There's tons of squirrels in this park. So I was like, that's so strange. But it didn't stink like a skunk. And I mean, it would stink like a skunk if it was a skunk tail. It was just about this long. So then, we're walking along, and all of a sudden I saw a squirrel, and it was sitting there, and it just ran up this spruce tree, and it had a tail that was only this long. And I'm like, oh, it's his tail, because 2 weeks ago we were there, and I made a specific comment to my daughter that there was a squirrel, a black squirrel with a white, a shock of white on the end of his tail. And so now I'm like, I wonder what happened. Did the squirrel in fact get attacked by a bird or something and it got away? Or is there some in nature some kind of a condition that a squirrel can get where they can, you know, have like tail rot or something like that, because there are other animal species that can get that. They can lose their tail from infection or parasite. So now I'm like, I've got to figure this out. And now I'm like, could they even, you know, are the two even related? Is this just a short-tailed squirrel? So that is my Matlock mystery for you today. Oh, that's a pretty bird, an indigo. Oh yeah, I love indigo buntings. Yeah, so I am totally rambling. This is a thrift haul video, not a Cindy Talk Forever video. But that's it for me for today. So it's like mostly garden. I guess I'm like not fully emotionally invested in winter yet. And as fall's creeping in, I'm already missing summer a little bit, not the heat but everything else. So I hope you have a lovely day. I hope that the thrift fairies are out there with you and you're finding fun stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna put this all away now, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care, enjoy fall, have a nice warm cozy drink, and have a great day. Bye for now.